Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. My name is May for those of you who do not know me, and those of you who are returning, thank you so much for returning. Welcome to the Wilder Shop, and I am here to give you guys another tip, actually tips of why you may be having some issues with your website design and increasing the traffic to your site. But before I get into those tips, I would love for you guys to please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Please and thank you. And make sure that you're following me on all of my social medias. I'll have all the links below. But let's get started and jump into this. So a lot of clients, come to me and they've already created a website. A lot of them, have a great design. Sometimes they have some of the, really great details. And, if you wanted to learn a little bit more reasons why your website might not be working, I will be posting a link probably here or something, or like at the end of the video or whatever, however it goes. But with a couple of reasons as to why you may not be getting a whole lot of traffic to your website that's already created. But today's topic is increasing the traffic that you already have. So let's say that you do already have a beautiful site that's already created. You've paid someone that has helped you create this website, hasn't told you anything else pretty much past that or whatever, created the site, handed it back to you, and now you're like, okay, well, how do I get people to go here? How do I get traffic? How do I get sales? Well, I actually had wrote out 9 different ways in which you could direct more traffic to your website. The first is advertising. Advertisement is king. And I'm not just talking about paid advertisement, even though it gets results a whole lot faster. I love organic reach. I love organic advertisements. However, it does end up, it's not as quick of a gratifying response. So it can be very, very frustrating, and it can be very time consuming. But if you are like me, who works with clients who don't necessarily have the budget, and you may not even have the budget for advertising, which is completely, understandable, even though if you are using something like Facebook or Instagram, there are some very, very, very cheap ways that you could advertise. Your return of interest and, the reach that you have may not be as great as you may like. However, it is a great place to start. I have had clients who have done 7-day campaigns and have done it for $35 for the entire plan, and they have reached several thousand people just off of doing $7 a day. And they did that on their Facebook alone, but had we had done it on Facebook and Instagram, we would have had a bigger reach. But I'm here to tell you that advertising isn't as expensive as it, at least starting out, because you don't have to start on the big guys like Google. You don't have to start, with GoDaddy, different things like that, because a lot of their plans scare my clients and a lot of people that I know, because they, they'll recommend, if you go below this, you're not going to get any results. And that is very true. However, some advertisements, even if it's just a little bit of traffic and you're just trying to start somewhere, sometimes that is a better option than just doing nothing at all. The second way to increase traffic to your website is to strengthen your social media presence. I can't tell you how important it is to not only have a website, but to also have a social media channel, or at least 2 that you are posting to or semi-posting to, or at least host. Because the reason when people come to your website, and website being in the digital space, they're looking for human interaction. They're looking for that human touch. They're looking for what's your day-to-day, what's behind the scenes. They want that social media. They want that know-how. So if someone were to go to your website and then you don't have any social media backing up behind it, how can they know to trust you? There's a lot of bots that are on social media right now that really mess with the algorithms. And so it makes it very frustrating, especially for business owners who are just starting out, because, a lot of people, they'll resort to inboxing people and different things like that sometimes. And, and in certain communities, it's actually considered spamming. But there's, this is just ways that people know how to organically reach. I mean, it definitely works. It just takes a lot of time, a nice little system to kind of get it together. But if your social media presence itself is strengthened, that eliminates all that hard work, at least most of it. Because if you are posting, even if it's just a inspirational quote that has something to do with your business, or it's just, oh man, there was a snap that happened with a product today, just little tidbits here and there. Strengthening your social medias day to day is what's really going to help bridge that credibility to your website. The third way to help increase traffic would be to optimize your SEO plan. I talked about this actually in the reasons why your website may not be doing well, because SEO plans are so very important. SEO, which stands for search engine optimization, helps to teach the search engines how to treat your website, how it should be categorized, how it should be rated, and different things like that. So if you do not have a strong SEO plan behind you, then it makes it difficult for search engines like Google and Bing and Yahoo to find your website in the quickest results possible, meaning you're losing out on clients. Because what's the point of having your website and having it to be live and to be searched if it's not searching at its best? It's not searching at the highest it could possibly be. Because I've had clients who told me, yeah, I have a website, and then they're ranked, thousands and thousands down, and I couldn't even find their page, no matter how specific of products that they gave me that were on the page and descriptions and different things that they had personally uploaded. I still couldn't find it. But it was because they didn't have an SEO plan. And your SEO plans are tailored, especially if you're doing, you're building your website through Wix or GoDaddy. They have, and this is why I love Wix. Wix, y'all need to sponsor me. But I love Wix because when it comes to the back office support, and they give you a whole okay, let's get you connected to Google. Here's the steps on how you do it. They walk you through and give you even suggestions as to, hey, okay, for your homepage, this is what would be recommended, because they would ask you, a couple questions to get to know your site, and then build a form and formulate a plan around that. There are other ways, obviously, to do that, and then there's ways to make it more in-depth. But Wix does such a great job making things very user-friendly, and all you just have to do is just kind of do a couple keywords here, a little bit of a description there for each and every page, making sure that the page's name is a certain way so that it's easier to be found on searches, making sure that there's a description for each page, so then if somebody pulls it up who has hearing issues or, or seeing impaired, they will be able to use that text as their descriptor. So they'll still be able to tell what page they're on and what the page does. So it's very, very, very important. There's more than just how, there's a lot that goes into that SEO plan. So it's very vital to have an SEO plan, extremely vital. And if you don't have a strong SEO plan, 9 times out of 10, that is one of the biggest reasons why your traffic is just. The fourth thing that can help increase traffic to your website is starting an email campaign. Now, this is something that I'm saying this one because I know I need to do it. But email campaigns not only help you to gather and keep in touch with your clients, but it also helps for you to advertise to your specific market. Because this leads into my number 5, which is building a community. Because when you build an email list that creates a community, those people start telling people, more people telling more people, word of mouth. And when you build that community, and there was this really great quote, and I wish I could remember. It was actually, I heard it on one of my business meetings. And the person had said, I would rather have 100 dedicated followers than 1 million followers I didn't even know. And that starts by building your community And that can start with building that email campaign and having an email plan, because having an email campaign helps you stay in contact with your clients. It helps update your clients as quick as possible when they're subscribed to your list about any new products, any new blog postings and things that you're doing, having weekly updates and things like that. So then you have that information readily available. And then if a client, let's say, you know, especially returning clients, they love being on email lists because then, you know, they get exclusive offers. There's things that aren't offered on the website, different ways that you can personally connect with your audience. And it also gives them another way to be able to communicate with you, because when you build your community, you will be able to say to your community directly, hey, what am I doing that you guys like? What am I doing that you guys don't like? And a great way to build your community is to invite people on Facebook to join your group. That is a sub of building your community for number 5, because Facebook groups are everything. You can have a private group. It can be a very small, intimate setting, and you can really get down to the nitty gritty and be able to control who is saying what. I'm sure, you know, lots of you are a part of groups on Facebook. I know I'm a part of many for many different reasons and for many different topics. And then I always make sure that my clients are a part and they're posting onto appropriate groups and things within the guidelines, because you can set your own guidelines and different things when it comes to those type of communities, and you have a better way of controlling some of the things that is going on. You'll have the ability to approve posts before they go live and different things like that. So it's very, very vital to start getting that email list going and start accumulating that Rolodex of numbers. I sound old for saying that, because and it's not, is it? Yeah, it would be a Rolodex. Yeah. You know, and I'm sure there's people who are younger than me that are like, what? And it's like that thing where you would have your numbers and you have like a little card and you have it in alphabetical order. And yeah, I'm old. I used to own a typewriter, and I still have a sewing machine and storage, so whatever. So I digress. But the 6th way to interact with your audience and get more traffic to your website is to interact with others' content. And I'm really, when I tell you I'm horrible about posting to my own social media, but I am great when it comes to this one, because I'm always responding to people's stuff. I'm always on people, snooping on people's comments. I'm always liking things and different things like that. But when you interact with people, that helps build that trust and that credibility. That will help also build to your knowledge and bring more traffic to your site, because when you're commenting and liking, especially when you're interacting with someone on a regular basis or, you know, weekly basis and different things, someone that you see in your timeline, they're going to be more and more curious, you know, and then there's more likely of a better result for you if you end up deciding to DM them, especially if you feel that they fit whatever your product is, or you feel that they would be a great business partner, or, you know, whatever the reasoning may be. But it usually starts in the comments. I know a lot of people who do it for love purposes too, which is really, 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 really annoying. But it does really help with website traffic, because when you start commenting, especially even if you're not even commenting on someone that you like, and let's say that it is, and this is going to lead into my number 7, researching your competition. Because how will you know how you're going to solve the problem that you're going out to solve if you don't know how your competitors are doing it? If you have no idea who the competitors are, you haven't identified them to know what are they doing that I'm not, and how can I set myself apart from them so that my clients don't believe and rope me in with that person. Like, so when you interact with others' content, it helps get your name out there. It helps put you in front of the conversation, and it helps to establish your credibility as an expert, especially if you're on competitors' sites and you're noticing things that they're not necessarily quite factual with, or you notice that there's things that they don't, that they withhold from clients. Not saying, please and please do not do this. Don't go attacking your competitors. Do not go into their comments and be complete a-holes and things like that, or whatever. To be honest, I make friends with my competitors. Because I just love to see other people grow. I love to see businesses because I feel that there is enough room, especially in a lot of these different, as business owners, there is room for everyone on the digital screen. Everyone has their own thing that they do very uniquely that is a little different from the other guy. And there may be something that you could learn from them. So just by following them, just by following their page, seeing what they do, see something that you don't do, could also help and see, like, because you can notice when your competitors have X amount of things, because you can tell when they're really getting sales, when they're, really on top of their game, and, things in there, you're always, we're booked, and, different, things that you can physically see and say, okay, yeah, like, but what are they doing? Like, what part of their business are they running, a little bit more efficiently than I am? And sometimes, learning from your competitors helps better yourself. I mean, I can't even say sometimes. It always does, because it helps give you some type of structure to reach for. I always like having a little competition. I'm used to be a athlete back in the day, and I danced. And I was always very, 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 very competitive. So I always like to know who the competition is. I like to know what they do. I like to know, I don't care about their prices, because that's like the one thing when it comes to competitors. I don't care about trying to beat their prices. I know what I can do. I know what they can do. That's great. I'm just going to do it better. And that's just kind of the attitude that you just have to take when it comes to getting traffic, is you just have to take an aggressive approach. But there's a way to have an aggressive approach without being too much of too much. So that leads me to our last 2 points of helping getting traffic. Our 8th point, 8, not 9, 8. Our 8th point is guest starring on a blog. When you are going and you're, because everybody's always on social media. I don't care who you are. If you have a brand, you're always on social media looking at hashtags, looking at this, looking at that. And you always come across similar accounts, even, blogs and different things. Why not reach out to especially some that are your favorite blogs, people that you closely follow, people that you're like, I really value your opinion, and I really value your podcast, or, your whatever, and start a conversation with them and let them know about your business, and let them know that what you're doing, how what you're doing can help align with what they're doing, and how they inspire you, and figure out a way to bridge that relationship so that they can guest star you as somebody and help bring in more traffic. Because having somebody helping you out, externally besides yourself, it helps establish the brand's credibility, because not only are you posting on your own little hub and in your own little community, in your own little circle, but now you've also started reaching out to a bigger audience, or someone, who may have a, same size audience or even smaller or something, but there's fresh eyes to that. There's a fresh set of people. There's more that, potential more clients. So, you never know who knows who they know. So, and that leads me to the 9th and final tip, which is hosting an influence takeover. Influence takeovers, these are also something that, there are different places that you can actually find influencers that will, without, the scams and different things. Because like I said, there's bots everywhere, and they'll say, yeah, I run this page, I do this, da, 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 da. And then you look into the credibility, and it's not really credible. It's not really an actual business, and they're just taking money and different things. But there are tools that will allow you to look at who, different influencers are, who they've worked with, and their ratings. And you could ask them for whatever their fee, depending on, because, this definitely, unless you personally know an influencer or you've built a relationship with them to do some type of, barter service where, okay, you host for this amount of time, I'll give you this type of product, or, this type of deal and different things, because influencers love when they get to do takeovers, especially if it's for a brand that they can stand behind. If it's behind a brand which they own, they personally follow, or, you know, you've built a relationship so well with them that they believe in what, even though, you know, they didn't know about your brand before you came to them, they're now like, yep, nope, I'm a patron. I am totally behind this brand 100%. And it's wonderful to have something like that. You know, one day I've had people, you know, on my social media, but never to the extent that I wanted to. And I know that that's something to look for in the future that I'm really super excited to do. But those were my 9 reasons. I keep saying reasons. 9 ways that could help boost your traffic to your already website and to your social medias. There are a ton of other tips. There's things that I'm thinking of right now as I record this that I'm just like, I could say this and I could say that. And I'm sure I will do another part. So if you guys do want another part, I have no problem making another part. Just let me know in the comments below and I can make a part 2 to this video. But those were just the 9 that I quickly could think of that I have been, you know, telling my clients and has been helping them get the best results. So, you know, there's other, like I said, there's a lot of other tips that I've come across in my career, but those were some of my most favorites. So what did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys on another video. Bye.